In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Marianne's guests are leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in their own work. They teach others to develop, refocus, and grow. Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Welcome to Moments with Marianne. Today, my special guest is Marina J. She's best-selling author of the new release, Turn Yourself On, and this book is Every Woman's Handbook to Get Their Fabulous Back. So, welcome to the show, Marina.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hello. You know, you've got this amazing book. I've heard that it's #1 bestseller in not one but 2 countries. They're kind of big, you know, like the U.S. and the U.K. So you must be pretty excited. I mean, I heard that it hit #1 bestseller in the first 3 hours of listing.
I know. And, you know, we couldn't believe it because everyone has been asking me, you know, what did you do to plan for it or have a campaign? And honestly, we didn't do anything at all. All we did was just ask other women to share it with other women who needed that boost, who needed something, you know, to get their fabulous back. And it's just taken off.
Well, hey, that's a fabulous place to be in, isn't it?
I know.
Well, hey, and I know you pretty personally, and so, you know, for our listeners that maybe are new to you, why don't you explain a little bit about yourself, about your background, so they know how awesome you are, because I know you're awesome, so I want them to know.
Sure. Well, as you can hear, I'm English. I'm an English woman living in Australia. I've been here for 20 years now. And I come from a long line of psychotherapists. In fact, most of my family are psychotherapists, and I made a conscious decision when I was a lot younger not to go into the game, as it were, because I just didn't want to. I thought, no, I'm not doing that. But all my life, I've been surrounded by people ringing me, asking me for support, for help. I'd have these stand-up conversations in the playground, and then at the end of the hour, all the children would have gone back into school, and the mum would say to me, how much should I pay you for this session? And, you know, I tried to do lots of different things, Marianne, and it just kept coming back to, this just pours out of me naturally. I love doing it. I can't even believe I get paid to do it. So I decided to train, and I trained back in 2002 when nobody really knew what a life coach was. And although I am a life coach, I work on so many different levels with the people that come to me that it's deep subconscious healing and it's also external healing. There's a lot of fun that I have in my sessions, and yeah, I just love what I do. I could talk about this all day. So, but my background is I've been doing this for years and years and years. I've coached thousands of women around the world. And really my book is what I do with my clients during a session. And there are so many women that want to work with me and weren't able to or couldn't make the time difference, what have you. And so this is my gift really to them, because everybody can heal. Everybody can heal. Whatever it is that's in your way, you can do it.
So when you decided that you're going to write this book, what I'm hearing is that you saw a lot of similar patterns in regards to issues that women maybe were having issues with?
Yes.
Okay. And so this is kind of like a go-to Bible kind of, you know, handbook for women, obviously, as you say, to get their fabulous back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we all know we can be having the best of times, we can be having the worst of times. If you are listening right now, you know you can have great days, you can have bad days, you can be chasing your dreams. And chasing your dreams, it can be a bumpy ride. It can be a bumpy ride whether you're chasing your dreams or not, you know. And most people's issues are relationships, either the relationship they're having with themselves or the relationship that they're having with their husbands or their partners or their boyfriends or their children or their friends or people at work that they work with. Mm-hmm. And the common denominator that I always say is the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every single relationship you're going to have. And so that's what I focus on.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that, because, it's not like that old saying, you can't give from an empty cup, So it's like you can't pour into a relationship or a friendship or anything like that if you've really got nothing for yourself.
It's so true. We weren't taught this at school. Can you imagine if we were actually taught genuinely how to heal ourselves at school? And I'm talking about the deep healing stuff, not the stuff that you see on Instagram. God, I love Instagram. All those heart pictures and people kind of putting out these lovely little sayings. I'm talking about real deep healing, the kind that when you're done, that's it. You're done. You've cleared and healed. And now what you're doing is healing anything that's happening to you within this month. So it's like a monthly maintenance that we all need to do. The way that person just spoke to me, or the thing that he just did, or I'm feeling really insecure right now because of that, or I'm really hurt by what you just did. This book that I've written has that. So you can go to any page and actually start to heal yourself from the inside out. And so we all need a way to do that, because honestly, your happiness is everything. Without that, it doesn't matter where you live or how you live. You've got nothing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Now, I want to talk about the title of your book here.
Yes.
The book really grabs you because it's got this red cover with these gorgeous, pink petals and, a crown on it. So, you look at it and you're just like, you're immediately drawn to this book, from an energetic standpoint and just in general. So when you came up with this title, it's a little racy. What's that all about?
I know, it's a little racy, isn't it? So it's about, I'm not talking about the cheap, trashy turn-on that we see, out there. I'm talking about that feminine turn on, where you really are the queen of every part of you, and you can turn on any part of you that you want right now. So if you're sitting here listening to this and you're feeling worried about something, you can turn on your ability to heal it. Or if you're going on a hot date tonight and you're feeling, I don't know, am I going to be good enough? Is he going to like me? What do I say? Or you're just nervous in general, you can turn on your confidence. And again, the word turn on, I'm not talking about 100 million affirmations in a mirror telling yourself that you're something, because quite frankly, if you have to tell yourself, you don't know it. I'm talking about the real deep stuff, so that you really become whole. You become that woman you were born to be. So the title, Turn Yourself On, really is you just completely turned on and alive. It's the complete opposite from when you're walking through a supermarket or when you're walking down the street and you see a lot of women turned off. They're turned off by their life. They're turned off by their husbands. They're turned off by the week that's coming to them. They don't look forward to any of it. So it's the opposite of that. It's the antidote to what I call dry out.
Okay. So when you mean by turn on this book, in this book, it's really about like your self-healing, your self-confidence. I read the book, and of course there's that fun racy part that gets into even your sexuality, but you have to buy the book to find out more about that portion.
Yeah. It's really turning on your self-love, turning on your sensuality, turning on your ability to ask for what you want and get it from a man. It's turning on any part of you that you need right now. And so in the book, it's separated into chapters, into the main parts of you that you need to turn on. And one of them is the ability to be your best friend. Are you being your best friend to yourself right now?
Oh, yeah.
In a particular situation, are you looking after yourself? Are you making a stand for yourself? It's all of these things. So yeah, it's really about turning on all of you. Otherwise, guess what? You turn off. And you end up sliding into what I call dry out, which is when you're not It's like you're not depressed, but you don't feel like you have much to look forward to. And so dry out is when you just feel sucked dry, by your kids or by your job or by him or just by life in general. And so that's the turn on. It's the antidote to what I see happening to millions of women around the world.
Well, and I think a lot of women can relate. We get to different points of our lives, regardless if we have kids or don't have kids, or we're in a relationship or not in a relationship, where we just feel like spent, like there's nothing left, and there's not that we're looking for a deep connection and unable to really find that. So why don't you explain what are the signs of what you would call dry out?
Yeah, it's so dry out. First of all, it's the perfect little term I came up with one day. I was just seeing all of my clients, and I thought, what is it? What is this thing that so many women I see have? It's not depression. It's definitely not depression, but it's like they don't have much to look forward to, and that dry out. It's like you can be a millionaire and have it. You can be the poorest woman in town and have it. It doesn't matter where you are. And the signs that you're in dry out is like you'll feel tired. You'll feel disconnected. You will feel like you don't have much to look forward to. You feel like you're going through the motions most days, kind of mechanical. You're not feeling any of it. You can't really remember the last time that you were really happy. You're compromising all the time. The people around you are sucking you dry. They don't give you anything. You're giving them, but you're not receiving what you're yearning for inside, which in a romantic relationship, whether it's with your husband or whether it's with your partner, is to really be seen by him and for him to put you first and for him to desire you and for you to really feel that you can completely surrender and just be with him and open up completely, open up your soul, open up everything. And so when you're in dry out, it's a bit like a little leaf. You just dry up, you curl up, nothing can get in there. And often nobody knows it but you. You'll hide it really well, how you really feel inside. And so from the outside, you'll look like you've got it together. And people will assume some of your closest friends will think you've got it together because you won't tell them how desperate you really feel inside. And, it's like you're not bad enough to see a psychologist, but you're not truly happy either. And so it's like, well, how do you get your happiness back? And so that's dry out for you. And I think it really is the perfect term that describes it. Yeah.
It sounds like it is because it really makes it, it's that in-between stage,
Sorry, can you say that again, Marianne?
Oh, sure. It's that in-between stage.
Yes.
Yeah, that it's like, like you were just saying, I'm not depressed enough where I need to go see a psychologist and they need to put me on antidepressants, but I know my life is, something much more than what it currently is. And that's what those, what women are feeling sometimes when they get just overwhelmed,
It is, and you see all your friends doing it. So you're kind of in this realm of, we're all doing it. But deep down, and often you'll feel it more at night than any other time. It'll kind of be like it's gnawing away at you. And so you might sit there and watch television, and you've got some snacks next to you and you're kind of zoning out. But you'll feel something gnawing away at you, and deep down that you're meant to be so much more than this. You just don't know how to get there. You don't see anybody else around you really getting there. Or if they do and they are getting there, you don't know them personally. You're seeing them on Instagram or you're seeing them on forums or Facebook or you're listening to them. But it's you. How do you get out of that dry out? I have women that come to me, they've been in therapy, they've seen psychologists for a decade, and they sit. I have a chaise longue for my clients. I think if you can sit on beauty, why not? So they sit on this beautiful deep velvet red chaise longue, and it makes me really sad. They might have their head in their hands and they're crying and they say to me, where were you 20 years ago? You know, they've spent all this money on therapy, and therapy is fantastic and brilliant up to a point, and then you want to learn how to really live well. And that's what my book is about. It's about healing yourself so that you can really live well, because part of the reason that I'm doing the work that I'm doing is that I became a single mom very suddenly when my daughter was born, and I looked around for someone to help me, and I looked at all these psychologists and counselors, and you know, they could all tell me what the problems were, and we could go in depth and talk about them until the cows came home, and actually that was useful up to a point. But there was no one really teaching me how to flourish, how to walk out my front door in the morning and just have a really happy feeling all over my body, and how to deal with something that somebody just did to me and bounce back quickly so that I don't hold on to all these things for years and years and years and years. So that's why it's so important that for me to have written the book, but also to do what I do, because I want to get to as many women as I can. You know, you can heal yourself, and it's actually a lot easier than we've been led to believe.
Oh, so what are the 4 simple steps? I know you talk about this in your book, but for our listeners, why don't you go over the 4 simple steps for healing ourselves?
Sure, I will. So if you're listening to this right now, how about you bring into your mind something that's been bothering you or that's been upsetting you? Just bring that into your mind. So a situation, it's with him, it's with them, it's with her. Just bring it into your mind. And here are the 4 simple steps for you to begin. And these are really powerful. And as much effort as you put in is what you're going to get out. So the first step is to decide what you don't want. As soon as you decide what you don't want, all your power just comes back. And it sounds obvious, but most women I meet actually haven't decided. They know what they don't want, Marianne, but they haven't actually decided, that's it, I'm done. And it's a very clear distinction between the two. So with that situation that you have in your mind, go ahead. Do you want this? Like, do you want this hanging around you for the next couple of years? You know, where will you be in 2 years' time if it's still exactly like this and if you still haven't made the decision? Because until you decide, nothing's going to change. You're not going to take action on it. Exactly. So the first stage is to decide what you don't want. And that's naturally where women go. Anyway, we know often more, don't we, about what we don't want than what we do, which is why we start here. But to actually make it into a decision is really important. So I call these the 3 do's. And so the first one is decide what you don't want. The second one is to desire what you do. What do you actually want to have happen here? Don't talk yourself out of it with, oh, but the situation, oh, but this will probably happen. Actually genuinely desire it without any editing at all, without any putting a cap on it and going, I can only get this much. And that's where I in the book talk about, I talk a lot about it, but that's where you genuinely say, what is it that you want? And again, it's a bit like making a decision. This is what I want to have happen. Even if everything on paper and everything out there is telling you otherwise, you make a decision on what you want. Again, really powerful. All your cells align and you can begin. The third D, which is the 3 do's or the 3 D's ethos, I have a couple of names for it, is to detox what's in your way. And detox really is self-healing. And that's where I've got lots of processes in the book for you to do really easily, to go in and to heal. And so that's where, you know, you can go in and go, well, why does this keep happening to me? Or why have you said this to me again? Or if you want to break a particular dynamic, you know, you might be divorced and you want to create a future that you and your kids are excited about, but maybe there's a particular situation that you literally need to break now. And it might be financial, it might be emotional, it might be physical. And so my book will give you that support that you need because you can do it. If you don't detox what's in your way, it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And you can ignore it. You can do, you know, as many positive affirmations as you like. You can watch as much TV as you like. It'll just be there playing in the background on low, you know. And I don't want that for you. You deserve to heal. You're actually built to heal. everything in you, you're built. And then the fourth step is to take self-love action. And that's the S in the 3Ds ethos, or the 3 do's ethos. And the S, the clue is in the word. Self-love. It's not self-love until you actually take action. It's just a thought otherwise. And you can have lovely thoughts about yourself, which is great. But I'm talking about real action. So that's when, as soon as you've healed yourself in the book, I ask you to go and do something really good for yourself. And it might be something really small, like going outside, putting your feet in the grass and just pointing your face to the sun. Or it might be something really big, like calling your lawyer or making that decision for yourself to move out or to break up or to go with somebody. And so those are the 4 simple steps. And, you know, if you just spend 5 minutes today just going through those 4 steps, even a tiny little amount, you are already healing, you're already shifting, and your outside will already begin to start changing.
That, you know, and those are very simple things that anyone can spend time and just do. And then your book goes into greater detail about them, you know, and how to go ahead and just walk through that process. Now, I know that you do also coaching sessions, and it doesn't matter where anyone in the world where they're located. You can actually do the sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that. I don't know about you, but I'm a woman, and most women I know have their best conversations with their girlfriends, don't they? On the phone, cradling the phone on the couch, because you shut the whole world out and it's just you. So yeah, I have clients all around the world, and they call me, and we do what we do. And so, you know, whether it's that you're sabotaging yourself, whether it's a situation that's getting you down, it doesn't matter what it is. I've never had a client that has walked away and it's not worked for them. And primarily that's because you're built to heal. And my job is to find a way that you most naturally heal. And that's exactly what we do. And we have a lot of fun too. I mean, we laugh a lot in sessions because some of it is really funny, you know, it's really, really very, very funny. So I just think that healing doesn't need to be scary or, oh, I'm doing work now. I just think we've already got a job, haven't we? You know, we've already got 9 to 5 jobs. It shouldn't be another job. It should be a pleasure to heal. And so that's how I've also written the book, is that I want it to be a pleasure for you. I've read too many self-help books where I already feel bad reading them because I already feel like I don't feel like I'm good enough when I'm reading it. And that might just be me, I don't know. But
yeah, you know, I can. There are some that I've read as well that I'm just like, really? It says it's easy to do, but it's just I'm having a difficulty connecting the dots here or making it work for me or whatever. You know, and then you feel like a failure because it's like, well, this is a self-help book and I'm failing at that, you know? Oh, my goodness. Well, before we go to break, is there a little tidbit that you would like to go ahead and leave our listeners with?
Sure. Really and truthfully, you know, if you're listening to this, whatever you think is unmovable in your life, it isn't. It's just that you haven't found a right way yet to move it. That's all it ever is. And so it's just finding the right way for you, because your happiness is everything. And if you focus on that just for a few minutes every week, your life absolutely will change. Absolutely, unequivocally change.
Well, I definitely recommend purchasing the book. There's a reason why it's been #1 bestseller and #1 new release in 2 countries. And so, you know, highly encourage our listeners to go ahead and pick up the book and, you know, see what Marina is all about here and the whole process to getting your fabulous back. So on that note, we'll be back here in just a few minutes. We've been speaking with Marina J. You can see her website at marinaj.net. And we'll be back here in just a moment.
In 2012, after returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan, Sean Gobin hiked over 2,000 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Recognizing the therapeutic effects of long-distance hiking, Sean founded Warrior Expeditions, a veteran nonprofit therapy program that supports veterans transitioning from their military service by hiking America's national scenic trails. Equipment and supplies are provided, as well as assistance with job placement. For more info or to help support these veterans, visit warriorexpeditions.org.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 123 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Are you an author looking for publicity for your book? If you're self-published or have worked through a traditional publisher, Marianne Pestana can help you get the media attention you require. Contact Marianne Pestana, literary publicist and host of Moments with Marianne, to create a winning plan of action. Marianne has helped authors become bestsellers and has received highly acclaimed media attention for her clients. Some of her work has received attention from ABC, NBC, CNN, CBS, Fox, and PBS, in addition to print and radio. She's a specialist in utilizing social media and her list of exclusive contacts to further the reach of your work. Contact MariannePestana.com to discuss the future of your work today.
Are you stuck in your creative process and hitting a roadblock at every turn? Book an appointment with creativity coach Katie Fowler to turn your art and life around. Katie is an award-winning artist, highly sought-after creativity coach, speaker, TV personality, and best-selling author of An Artist's Journey Through Wonderland. Katie guides people in connecting with themselves, with others, and with their own passions. Go to katiefowler.net now to begin your journey through your creative wonderland.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074, 630-881-1074.
Are you having an average day? Do you seem to be having more average days than great days? I'm Marina J, and I help women turn that around. If you want fast, deep transformation on the stuff that hurts you the most, visit me at marinaj.net to receive support and inspiration now, because your happiness is everything.
Are you dreading your next business trip with all of the unhealthy food choices? Well, eating healthy while on the road for business is no longer a hopeless battle. Natasha Leger, a road warrior herself, not a doctor, dietitian, or nutritionist, but a real-life business person, understands the unique stresses of business travel and has written a book to inspire us and show us how easy it is to make healthy choices while on the road. Order Travel Healthy, a road warrior's guide to eating healthy at TravelHealthyBook.com. That's TravelHealthyBook.com.
welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're sitting here with my very special guest, Marina J. She has written the best-selling book in 2 countries, not 1 but 2, Turn Yourself On, and it's for women to get their fabulous back. So welcome back, Marina.
Hi.
Hi. So, I know we talked about this a little bit before we went to break, but could you expand upon, what do you say to a woman who's kind of in this place where, like, I've already done a lot of work on myself, and I don't even know if I need this?
Yeah. I have a problem with the word work right there. It shouldn't be work to heal yourself. Sometimes it can be tough, absolutely. But to me, don't you already have a 9-to-5 job? Don't you already, aren't we already, all of us, working far too hard? So to me, it's actually about making all of this a pleasure. And so if your current approach is to look at this as more work, it's going to be a bit of a bummer, really, because your approach is already stopping you from learning more. And by learning more, it's not more stuff. It's actually healing more, because once you're healed, genuinely, if you've done the work, you should be done already. It doesn't mean that you can't go deeper, and it doesn't mean that you won't have stuff this month to clear and heal from this month. But honestly, if you've, in inverted commas, done the work, you should be done then. So to me, it shouldn't be hard work. That almost puts a furrow in my brow, and probably the woman saying it as she's saying it. I've written my book as if I'm sitting next to you, talking to you, exactly as I'm talking right now. And so it actually should be a pleasure for you to clear and heal. And I never want to hear you say that it's work. Ever, 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 because it isn't.
Well, and definitely, that's one of the things I really like, one of the many things I really liked about your book, is it really is like you're sitting across the kitchen table, just chatting, and it comes with a lot of humor and a lot of really, there's that fun side because, like you're saying, it should be work, but then there's also those serious moments as we talk and really peel back the layers, as we go forward in our healing journey. So one of the things you talk about is having a hot love affair for life with the man that you're with, which, hey, that sounds, absolutely exciting. So, how's your book really going to make that happen?
Right, because he's not going to read the book, is he?
Probably not.
He's not going to read that book. He might kind of look at the title, he might look at the cover and go, ooh, what's that? But he's not going to read the book. And so that's a good thing, because this book, I have a lot of clients that come in here and they say to me, he won't come to coaching. And I say, it doesn't matter. This is about the relationship you have with you. And when you heal, it will lift your relationship up as if he was here. He doesn't need to be here. I just need one of you. And that's what I always say to them. I just need one of you, and that is enough. So because the relationship that you're having with you right now is setting the tone, as soon as you start the book, you're going to start clearing and healing. You're going to start feeling your energy coming back, your happiness coming back. You're going to know how to ask him for what you want and actually get it. And so at the end of the book, you're going to come out, not just finishing the book, but you'll come out with a new relationship with him. And so as far as I'm concerned, you're just really lucky that he never had any intention of reading it, or you would have totally missed out. This is actually you, and you can do it,
Yeah.
So
you don't want to give him the heads up,
No, you want to surprise him. And, there's a great saying, and I've written about this in my book, and, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the film.
Oh, yeah.
And that great saying, and we all love it, don't we? And she says something, don't quote me word for word, I've got a really bad memory with this quote, but it's in my book word for word. She says, the man may be the head of the house, but the woman's the neck, and she can turn the head any which way she wants.
Oh, yes.
And, it's true, we're really powerful, and that's actually where we're meant to be. So this book is to empower you, to give you that really big boost so that you do feel good, even if he's spoken to you in a bad way, or even if he's sitting on the couch with a remote control and you're looking at him and you're going, oh, God, really? I get to be with you again tonight. You know, he doesn't need to have read it. It's enough for you to do it.
Yeah. And, and what a very powerful place to come from, because it really is our own personal journey, because we can never fix them. We have to fix, we have to do that inward journey and fix ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Well, I know that you also, what is like one of the things that you would say to a woman who's been so disappointed by men? Just like, oh, I don't think, like how that woman's looking at the guy on the couch going, oh God, and I've got to pick up after you. I mean, and, it's not always that way with all women and, and relationships. But what would you say to a woman who's so disappointed with men?
Absolutely. It's really hard when you're so disappointed because it stops any real hope for the future, doesn't it? You sort of go, well, that's my past. I'm so disappointed with you. What possible great stuff could happen for me in the future? It's probably not going to happen for me. And so, I would tell that woman, if she's listening right now, that all those disappointments just show you the real relationship you were having with yourself at the time. Because if you're really honest with yourself, the way he was treating you is absolutely the way that you were treating yourself in some area of your life. And often it's not obvious, and that's what I help with my clients to see, and then we go in and we just clear that, so that never happens again. So all it is, it's not that he doesn't love you. It's not that he doesn't find you desirable. It's not that he has stopped wanting to be with you. He's gone off to do something else. It's actually the way that you think about yourself. It's how worthy you genuinely believe that you are. And it has nothing actually to do with him. So what I would say to a woman who's been so disappointed and let down by men is that the first thing that we do together is we drop everything that's happened and we just start with you. We get you back. Because with all that disappointment, you can actually feel very diluted yourself, and it takes away from you. So the way that he is with you right now, if it's happening or it's happened, nothing to do with who you are as a person, nothing to do with how gorgeous or clever or intelligent or desirable or how wonderful you are. It's everything to do with your relationship you're having with you, and that's what we have to focus on first.
What if you come across, there's a lot of women out there that are like, fabulous what? I've never felt fabulous before. What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. How hard is it to read about being fabulous when you're so far away from it? Look, I get it completely. I used to be a single mum and, I know what it's like to be on your knees and I know what it's like to rise up and I know what it's like to stay here. I've been there, Marianne. I've been at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And if somebody had said to me, get your fabulous back, I probably would have done something awful to them. I think I would have been like, go away now. I cannot relate to you in any way, shape or form. So this book is not all fluffy and la, 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 la. I get it because you can't start at fabulous. I start with you where you're at. And that's where the book starts. So, I'll be with you as we look at what's sabotaging you or how to get what you want, whether it's a new court order, or whether it's just to get some sanity at work or how to stop shouting at your kids. We start in your reality at what you don't want. And that's what we start deciding on. And so, I'm going to take you through the very same steps that I took when I was a single mom to get myself out because nobody else was doing it. No one else could help me. And so this book is based on my own little ethos that I created for myself at the time, even though I didn't know that's what I was doing, Marianne, but I set myself every day. I was doing stuff to get myself out because to be in that place for me was just so awful and intolerable. And so by the end of the book, you will actually be relating to that word fabulous. You'll actually get it. And you'll actually be living it because you actually deserve it. But at the beginning, no, we don't start at fabulous. We build you up to that. And so if you've never been fabulous, if you're even listening to this, that's the universe saying to you that you're ready. You're ready.
on other levels, because this hits so many different levels, what's really something that turns a guy on? And what's something that turns him off? What are the things that we should look at saying, oh, these are things that I should, that I, can look at changing, and some maybe things that I should, not ever do again.
Absolutely. I wish that there was a class at school that was a class for girls, and the class was, here's how you flourish as a girl. And it included the relationship that we have with our bodies, the relationship that we have with our sensuality, healing anything that's happened between us and boys and us and guys, just the way that they even look at us or talk to us or make comments. So that my book deals with all of that for you. And there are actually some very beautiful healing processes around that that you can do to heal. And so when we talk about what turns a guy on and what turns a guy off, you've got to understand it's not about you turning a guy on. It's not about dressing up for him. It's not about batting your eyelids or doing it a certain way. All of this, we're not doing any of this for guys. It's actually for you. And when you get to that place of alignment, guys will just come flocking to you. They will just come to you. And so what turns a guy on, it's not actually by you doing anything at all, contrary to magazines and all of that that's out there. It's simply you feeling turned on and being turned on to what you want in your life whilst in his presence. So showing that something makes you excited. And so you ask for it from him. And then when he gives it to you, you really appreciate it. And that's it. And I cannot tell you the amount of women that have stopped doing that because of past disappointment. They don't bother doing it anymore. And yet, if you ask a man, it's one of the main reasons that he's with you is he actually wants to make you happy. And that is a major turn on for any guy, is making you happy. And so your desire plus asking him plus appreciating him, that genuinely appreciating him, I'm not talking about fakey fake, I mean genuine, plus receiving whatever it is without blocking, like the goddess you are, is going to turn a guy on. And that'll be for life. That's it. And the opposite, what turns a guy off, is you really wanting something in your life, a different way of living or something physical, or you just want a holiday, but you don't say anything. So your desire plus your silence, because let's face it, you haven't got it in the past anyway. What's the possibility of it coming to me now? It's not going to happen. So I'm just going to complain about you anyway to my girlfriends. And then you know what? I'm just going to do it myself anyway because it's a damn sight quicker. That's going to turn a guy off quicker than you can even say that sentence. And he will gravitate towards another woman that is willing to ask him for what she wants. And so at this point, I often get a woman who'll roll her eyes and she'll say, yeah, but you haven't met my David, have you? And of course, I haven't met, her big bear of a husband, David. But what I do know is that I don't need to have met him. He's already programmed, because he's a man, to make you happy. What she hasn't learned, because school didn't teach her, her mum didn't know, her girlfriends didn't know, is actually how to get the best out of him, is actually how the words that you need to ask for what you want, so that actually it can bring you two closer together, and that disappointment will start to ebb away and you actually get what you want. Because if you get what you want, you stop resenting him, don't you? So that's, to me, that's what turns a guy on and that's what turns a guy off. And I go into that in depth, actually, and I've done some research on it. And, you ask any guy, ask any man that you meet, is it true that you guys just want to make us women happy? And they'll just be like, yeah, as if you're the stupid one for even asking, And I write about this in my book. I was at a dinner party. It was a beautiful, beautiful dinner party that was all standing up at the time. And I was sort of surreptitiously trying to help a guy. I knew he was having trouble in his marriage, and I was trying to help him, sort of pretending not to coach him, but really I was, because I just really felt for him. It's really hard to be in that place. And then about 15 other dads, it sort of just kept coming closer and closer and closer. And I kind of looked up and I was like, wow, we're in a big circle. And I thought, well, this is just completely invaluable. I'm going to ask them. And so I asked them a few questions. And then I also asked them, is it true that you guys want to make your wives and the women in your life happy? And they were just incredulous. They were like, yes, of course. And then I asked them and I said, how many of your wives actually know this? And a lot of them just kind of looked down. They went, no, she doesn't know it. There's a miscommunication there. We think that it's them. They just can't hear it from us in the way we think they're saying it. So it's all in the way that you say it. And that's what I teach, which is very important.
So I'm going to be a little bit of a spoiler here. I understand that you've come from a very long line of very famous psychotherapists that actually had some influence in shaping what it is that you are doing today.
Yeah, I did. My beautiful grandmother, Marianne Jacobi, she was a very eminent psychotherapist, and she'd met Carl Jung back in the 1930s. And she had studied with Carl Jung, and she had set up the British Psychological Association in the UK. She was one of the founders. So she was amazing. I mean, she had clients everywhere would come to her, and she used to look after some of the principal dancers at the Royal Ballet, and I won't name them, but some very, very famous ones. And there used to be a running joke that if it wasn't for my grandmother, there would be no stage show that night. So she was amazing. And my grandfather, Hans Jacobi, he's often mentioned in the same breath as Carl Jung. He knew him very well, and my grandfather wrote one of the first books on handwriting analysis with Jungian psychotherapy in there, and he was a psychotherapist himself. So yeah, I've come from from that, and so I think it's just in my blood. I don't know. I try to fight it, and I can't fight it anymore. So and I've been the happiest I've ever been. I can't believe that this is my day job. I don't even look at it as a job, So yeah.
Well, and I think it's important that our listeners know this, because I mean, it's such an amazing background, and it's not just another life coach, or what have you. You do amazing work, and you come from a family who's really dedicated their lives to helping people progress and move forward. So I really applaud that, and your book's amazing. And so, I'll get too carried away on that. So let's go ahead and talk about now in your book. Okay, in your book, you allude to no one wants to think that they bought the wrong product. So what are you talking about here?
All right. So picture this. You start going out with this incredible man, okay? And you're telling all your friends about him, and you cannot believe your luck. He's everything that you've ever wanted. He's tall, dark, handsome. He's got an amazing job. He's interested in you. He takes you places. He surprises you. And you are just like, I think I've met the one. And then you're walking down the street, and you're sort of looking at him going, oh, my God, he's gorgeous. And he's just walking slightly ahead of you. And then he suddenly turns around and he mouths to you, is my bum too big? And you go, what? And he goes, and he says it really quick, is my bum too big? And you go, it's fine. And you're going, oh my God, it's fine. But he still isn't sure. And so he wraps like a jacket and ties a jacket around his hips because he's feeling insecure. I mean, is this sexy to you?
No.
No. Does it turn you on?
No, that would be definitely cause for concern.
You'd be like, oh, I mean, honestly, bit by bit, doesn't his self-doubt just start to make you just intrinsically doubt your choice, because if it kept going on, maybe subconsciously you're thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I could do better. Maybe his bum is too big, and so
maybe he's judging my bum. You never know.
Yeah. It doesn't turn you on. It doesn't. You don't think to yourself, fantastic. And yet we women do this all the time. And so whether it's a person you're with or a dress you've just bought and suddenly you're not sure about it, nobody wants to think they bought the wrong product. You don't. And so this is about self-doubt, I believe, has damaged more relationships than we'll ever know. And, if you're in a relationship right now and you doubt the way you look, and even though you may not say it to him, it's there. It's that thing that you can't see. It's that thing that you can't touch. But what it will do, and what it is doing, is taking your relationship down a few notches from where it could be. And that's with you not even saying it. And then if you are saying it, does my bum look too big in this? Or, classic question I hear women asking the men they're with, what are you thinking? Why are you really with me? Like, I don't get it. What do you see in me? It's like that starts to make people think I'm with the wrong person. And they'll never say it, but it's something that starts to creep into a relationship. And so, no one wants to think they've bought the wrong product, Marianne.
Well, in all those self-sabotaging behaviors, in your book you have, you talk about ways of really eliminating those and moving beyond those. And
yes.
And that's so important. I think a lot of people do that without really realizing that they're doing that. Now, there's quite a spiritual aspect to this book. Why don't you discuss that a little bit?
Sure. One of the things you probably heard me say a bit earlier is I use the word goddess, and I don't mean something in the sky. I don't mean that you have to wear a big ball gown and have lots of makeup on. None of that. I literally mean being a goddess is having a divine relationship with yourself. And so if you're born a woman, you're born a goddess, and there's nothing you need to change about yourself. Rather, it's the way that you think about yourself that needs to change. And so there are processes and just beautiful techniques and meditations in this book that are going to take you down into your subconsciousness. And really, that's just below your thought process, down into where all your feelings and all that stuff lives, to heal the deepest parts of you. And so, one thing I've already noticed is from people already telling me about the book is that they're already connecting to their divine intuition a lot easier. It's already bringing them in to that depth. And so to have a divine relationship with yourself, I think, is one of the most amazing spiritual things you could ever have in your life, because that's the foundation where everything will sit upon.
I agree with you there, for sure, because it's so important. Yeah, I think your energy is just going off the charts here. It's it's affecting the sound equipment. Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so we have a few more minutes here. So why don't you tell our listeners what they can expect when they buy Turn Yourself On?
Okay, so you can expect to turn yourself on when you buy my book. So you feel alive and fabulous. So, you can expect to open the book at the exact page you need for whatever's going on in your life. From people being bitchy towards you, to you need to forgive yourself, to, a situation really getting you down, to just feeling upset because you've had a major argument with him. And then, there's other things, like there's a sub-chapter in there, and it's called So You're Having a Bad Day. And I was having a bad day when I wrote it, and I thought, you know what, we need this, we women need this. And so I take you through what can become a really powerful day for you when you're having a really bad day, and it's the steps that you go through. And so, and then beyond that, there's processes for lots and lots of different things in your life, for why the same stuff keeps happening to you, for what to say when there's conflict in a relationship, how to deal with that. so that it brings you two together rather than apart. And then there's also body stuff, there's beauty stuff, absolutely falling in love with your body right now as it is. And we're not doing anything fandangly there, we're just genuinely doing it together. And so my book is really, it's for when you're feeling upset, and it's for when you want to feel like $1 million, when you're walking down the street. And so I've written it to be a woman's best friend, because honestly, Marianne, that's what I've needed. I haven't seen it. That's what I've needed, and that's what my clients need. So really, a lot of them write so many notes during our sessions. They come out with a book, and that's also what prompted me to go, well, why don't I just write it? And then that's a lot less writing for everybody.
Well, they're probably grateful because they can pick up the book and, like you're saying, just open to any page. And they're, like I'm looking at a section right now that says Secret Shame Circle. That was very interesting. And then how to use your healing room. I mean, there's lots of great information in this book. So, and there's even, the racy parts. So, but it really is healing yourself on all levels. And I highly recommend our viewers or listeners to go ahead and pick up the book. It's available on Amazon and Marina's website, which is Marina, MARINAJ.net. I know that you're giving away some free gifts on your website. If when they purchase the book, there's a special code hidden in the book that will allow them to go ahead and enter the code and unlock a treasure trove of goodies. So,
yeah, I wanted a bit extra, so you'll hear my voice guiding you through some of the processes, and there's stuff in there. So yeah, because that's what I would want, So yes, there's extra there.
And and definitely people can sign up for your newsletter. Join the community. You're on Facebook. You're very active on Twitter. You've got a lot of great information that I found to be very inspiring. So I can just go and look at your Twitter account, and there's always something there that I'm like, oh, I really like this, I move from there.
Yeah, we just need lifting up. I've designed it so that I want you to feel as you read the words, whether it's on my book or whether it's on Twitter or Facebook. I just want you to feel it's all about feeling happy, and we all deserve that.
Well, and what a great place the world would be if we have more people that are actually standing in their happiness.
Yeah.
So, well, on that note, I could talk to you about this forever, but it's only an hour show, so. Thank you so much, Marina, for taking the time and just giving us all this great information from beautiful Australia. And I just wanted to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a really good time.
Well, it's always fun chatting with you. And so for our listeners, I want to thank you all for tuning in today. And remember, make every moment count.
Join us next time for Moments with Marianne, when host Marianne Pestana brings another inspirational gifted leader to help us grow. Tune in every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Moments with Marianne, when the Dream Vision 7 radio network is at 1510 a.m. Boston. Or catch Moments with Marianne every Thursday and Friday at 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. Eastern Time by going to dreamvision7radio.com. To learn how Marianne started her business from the ground up, visit mariannepestana.com. Don't miss this, and remember, make every moment count.